Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today's video is going to be a little bit different for a couple of reasons. Number one, even though I'm playing the Type 59, that Tier 8 Chinese premium medium tank, that's really not what the focus of the video is going to be on. And secondly, I'm going to remove my face cam so you guys can see the chat that goes on in the game for the purpose of the video, which is titled Everyone Counts. Now, this is not an opinion that everyone shares in World of Tanks. A lot of people use modifications such as XVM to be mean to players who maybe are statistically weak on your team, to berate them. However, I really like to use XVM to create a plan to see what kind of vehicles on my team are probably going to need more help. Do the enemy have specifically strong tanks? Here we can see that their tank destroyers are going to be a serious threat. And so I'm immediately trying to communicate with the FCM 50T platoon on my team to come with me north, let's win this, and they even say affirmative here. So it's very important to get in communication with your team to see if you can work with players who perhaps aren't really going to be able to have the impact by themselves to lead them into having more of an impact. And by doing that, you can improve your win ratio, because quite frankly, even a very, very, very basic player is still going to be able to do the complete basics right in World of Tanks. Well, at least you'd expect that, i.e. point their gun at things and be able to click their left mouse button and be able to penetrate tanks. Now, quite often, the problem is trying to get players who aren't fully experienced, who don't know the maps, to be able to go into the correct positions to be able to have the impact that they need to have. So that's why I have got my two FCM 50T buddies here. Now there's an M41 Walker Bulldog above me. He's managed to get himself into quite an aggressive location, and we get our first ambush shot off here. But even when you do take, shall we say, learning players into the correct positions, sometimes they just won't really spot what's going on. And here we can see that neither of these three players can tell that there is a Walker Bulldog above them. Looks like the T54 Mod 1 and the FCM 50T finally figure it out, although it's a little bit too late, and we have to put the entirety of our rounds into the Bulldog there, and he gets to shoot us twice, and we're quite lucky that he didn't shoot us multiple times there. So I guess that's the other side of the argument, right? That you can take vehicles into the correct position, but sometimes they're not always going to do what at least you hope for them to do. But here we are, look at this, we've got lined up, we've got our 4 premium tier 8 medium tanks here and a Walker Bulldog. Already killed an M41 Walker Bulldog on the enemy team, and now deciding to put some pressure up on some tier 8 vehicles. The T54 Mod 1 on the enemy team is already down to a slight fraction of his original health. And we're sharing the damage between us here. Fair enough, not all into me, and that is something that I guess I feel quite fortunate about in this replay. Usually I am focus fired very hard indeed, but I want to start to try and see if we can get this ISU out. Yeah, we get his flank. And now this is a very important part of the video. You have to keep leading your allies. You can see that they're very happy to stop there and try and snipe it out. However, we're not going to be able to get the vision on the enemy team. You really want to close the distance. And probably that Borsig would have remained hidden if I didn't get forwards and be able to spot him for my allies. So always try and be at the front when you're leading in advance here. And it's generally the players at the front who are going to be spotting. They're going to be able to get the most experience out of it as well. So aggression in these kind of situations can actually pay off very well indeed. Unfortunately, that tank trap there really did a very good job with the Type 59. We barely managed to get over. But so far, a great result in a game where statistically you'd think that as some of our better players were in our top tier tanks, we'd be doing a lot worse in. So an STA-1 on the enemy team. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't look like he's managed to connect. I'm not proud. I'm going to be able to try and get some easy damage in here, and when you're playing in a tier 8 premium like the Type 59, it is very juicy. Every single round you put in is pretty much, I'd say, 5 to 10,000 credits, I think. You really don't have to penetrate many rounds in this vehicle to make a whopping amount of profit. So a nice shot there into the corner of the Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger, and we can see that the FCM 50Ts have turned round to try and cover the flank towards the south. And you know what, I think that's a good decision. It's a good thing that I'm here though with this T54 Mod 1, because otherwise I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have been able to push through this flank. And the FCM's turning round to deal with those IS-3s. I guess if we hadn't been so confident at the front, that might have been a misplay. But nevertheless, we pushed through the flank together. We did what we needed to do, and we accomplished more together than we would have been able to achieve individually. I'm pretty sure if I'd been there by myself, I would have been absolutely toasted by that ISU 152, the T-54 Mod 1, and the fact that we had multiple guns engaging our opponents there has allowed us to really impact that flank like we need. And here we can see that those IS-3s thought that we would be capping, and so in fact the platoon on the enemy team, both of the platoons of top tier heavies on our team and the enemy team, both went back to defend respective caps. It looks like that's a big mistake for the IS-3s on the enemy team, because that gives us a lovely opportunity to be able to cut through the softer tanks here. Taking out the Super Pershing with a nice side shot there, and the FCM-50T finishes him off. And now I'm going to be going after the artillery, the M40/M43. This is a dangerous artillery piece. Luckily, the T-44 shuts him down for me. I'm not sure if he was pointing at me. Was he pointing at me? Actually, it looks like he was facing the other way. I would have been able to take him out. But I don't really like to mess around with Tier 8 American self-propelled guns. Those things have got so much alpha damage. They can really stick it to you. So the T-44 is going hunting after the IS-3. I want to wait for, you guessed it, my original FCM-50T buddies to come in here. And you know what? Fighting against an IS-3 in a Type 59, I would probably be able to take this guy out because his other ally has left him. But here we go. Hero FCM-50T right in the side, rams him up, and I managed to finish him off. Great result. I pressed my affirmative key there. FCM-50T asks for help on the other side. You know what? It's these kind of moments in World of Tanks that at least I have the most fun in. I.e. the moments where you're working with your allies and even players who, a lot of players will be fobbing off, as we can see up here. I'm going to put it up on the screen, what my team was saying to those FCM-50Ts earlier on in the replay. And here they are, alive at the end, carrying a sub-50 percenter to victory along with me. GG guys, good carry FCM-50T. It was an absolute pleasure to play with these guys. And at least in my opinion, it does show the different mind states of World of Tanks players, i.e. ones that are willing to work with their allies irrespective of how experienced they are, and maybe the more experienced players can lead these players into the correct positions to enable them to have a higher impact, and the kind of players who just want to berate them for being inexperienced and probably not having quite learnt to have that impact in World of Tanks yet. And I guess this sums up the positive and negative experiences that you can have with programs that track your statistics. Some feeling that it enriches their World of Tanks experience and removes a degree of the confusion or the RNG out of the matchup, and other unconfident bullies who feel the need to berate other players, I guess to compensate for their own insecurities. Nevertheless, I'd like to give a massive thank you to Real Squee and Interbowl for your teamwork in this game. It certainly was one of my most memorable moments in World of Tanks. So very quickly, here are the post-game stats. We managed to get ourselves a high caliber in the Type 59, getting 4,000 damage done, finishing top on experience with 1,485, and it was nice to see the FCM-50T winning the slots by the look of it, getting 777 base experience points. We also made 93,000 credits profit after we resupplied some of the premium ammunition that we used in this game. And after using a personal reserve and a premium account, this was a whopping 6,907 experience for our double. 121 crew will certainly love that crew training. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like. It really helps the channel out. And if you like this, then maybe you'll enjoy the Good Guys series. Simply click the more info icon in the top right hand corner of your screen to see an awesome set of replays where players candidly help each other out in World of Tanks. And also just another heads up that I'm going to be doing another massive stream on Tuesday the 9th of August along with Jingles. There's going to be a bonus code available for European server and also for the North American server this time. And so hopefully I'll see all of you there. And let me know in the comments down below, what is your most memorable moment from, I guess, working together with other players on your team who haven't been in a platoon with you. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.